I was like, I want to be someone who like comes home and puts on a face mask and lights a candle and takes a big fucking breath and like just like is chill. And I wasn't chill at that point in my life. I'm Deirdre Skiles. I am the owner of Detroit Rose, and I am 32 years old. I was in a place in my life where I really needed change. I really needed a shift, and I did not know what that was. I could kind of see the woman I wanted to be, and I just started to make product for that person. I was living in New York. I was just ready for a big change in my life, and I started making candles. My lease was up. It was time to leave, and so I came back to Detroit to visit my family. I was gonna take a few months, hang out, meet some people. I had some friends who had just moved to Detroit, and I was like, I wanna know what this is about. I wanna like feel this energy. And I found this awesome loft that I wanted to live in Eastern Market, and I moved there, and I was just pouring candles in my kitchen and taking them down to the market on Saturdays and selling them. And that was like this really sweet, cozy little life. And I was also writing at the time and like working on other kind of artistic projects. It very slowly turned into this big, crazy company that I have. There were a lot of steps along the way, but I think that was like the main inspiration, as I was listening to an intuition that was totally my own, that was totally driving me to something, and I didn't really know what that was. I didn't really understand it at the time, but I just started throwing myself into something, and that was making a candle in my kitchen. And like, for whatever reason, I knew that I needed to be doing that, and I listened to my instincts, and it took me here. I knew I loved the feeling that I was having, making something, selling it to someone, and then having this interaction with that person. That felt really exciting to me. And what was also really exciting to me is I started to see, oh, I could have control over my day-to-day. I could have control over my financial destiny. I could choose how my life works. And up to that point, I had been, really kind of living this artistic life. Not that I don't now, but like I had gigs. I never had like a grown-up job. I never like went to an office. I never, so I was like picking up shifts here and there. I was auditioning. I was submitting. I was constantly in this process of saying like, here's my work. Do you like it? Is it good enough? Can you hire me? Like that felt like what was happening in my life up to that point, and I was ready to like take control and like do something and shape it and define it and then offer it and say this is what it is. I had to really confront a lot of personal things in order to like run this business the way the business wants to be run, right? Like for so long, the business was about serving my needs, right? Like I created this company, and so I wanted it to be this way, and I wanted it to allow me to live my life in this way, right? Which is important, and that's a valuable thing. But at the end of the day, like I created something, and like in order for it to be successful and for my employees to see success and for everyone who's involved in this company, in the marketing, the branding, my customers, the retailers who we sell it to, that means that I had to see the bigger vision, and I had to surrender to that as opposed to kind of strong arm everything into like the way I wanted it to be. And I learned that the hard way. I learned that through failures and through missed sales and sometimes broken relationships and sometimes missteps, but like, again, that's cool, that's okay, because it's all a learning process. Last year, I suddenly found myself with 3 full-time employees, and that was a really hard year for me. I learned that I am maybe not the best manager. That was like a really hard lesson because I really thought I will be an amazing manager. Like I was like, I'd be dope at that. Like I saw people doing it and I was like, I'd do it different. Like I wouldn't, like I'd be more chill. I wouldn't bring my stress to work. But like, no, I totally bring my stress to work. I totally had to learn how to like check myself, like I feel like I spent a year being a manager, which was never my intention. And, but it had to be done. Like I had to do it and I had to learn those lessons, and it was awesome. Like, I will say that the people who have been attracted to Detroit Rose, who have said, hey, I want to work for you, which is kind of how everyone has come into this little family, have just been amazing, creative, all women. Not that we wouldn't hire a man or anyone really, but it just so happens we're all women thus far, and just the most amazing people. Like that is the thing I feel so lucky about is what we make, what we do. It's all kind of an extension of the people who have put their mark on it, and yeah, that feels really good to me.
She got totally bent out of shape because she didn't know about it.
I was living a very different life when I was in New York and living in LA as well. I was an actor. So when you're studying acting, you're studying human behavior, right? Like and when you are acting or when you're on stage, you're telling a story, you're experiencing human emotion, and you're giving that story to someone else, and an audience is there with you and they're having that experience. That process is something that I emulate in creating a product and being excited about what it will do and what it will give to the person that then receives that product. Like that, I think, is what I get most excited about. Especially with our beauty products, like our skin products. I just love talking to people about using our oils or just really using any of the products that they use. But I don't know, there's something about like the way that just using a product can affect someone's life and affect someone's private moment that they're having that's really exciting to me. At the point that my company started, I didn't know what it could be, what it would be, and I listened to that little voice inside of me. I listened to my instincts, and sometimes it is so hard. Like sometimes I am crying, like sometimes I'm like, why did I do this? Like, what is happening? And every single person I've ever spoken to who started a company, it's the same story. It's that same old tale, and you just have to get through it. You just have to get to the other side of it because something amazing is on the other side of it. And whether that's your personal freedom, your financial freedom, your sense of self-worth, whatever that is that's on the other side of that like terrible feeling you're having because running a business is so hard, or starting a business is so hard, or you don't have the money, or you can't pay the bills, like, it is worth it. It's worth it. And like, find community, find other people who you can say, this is so hard, and I am so scared, and this is really, you know, whatever it is for you, whatever that experience is, and find those people, find the people who can help offer you solutions, ask them for help, figure out how to get through it, and you will, and you'll be on the other side of it, and you'll find success if you just keep going. I think that's it. I think the real advice is just keep going, like keep moving forward even when it's hard.